When I run Facebook ads, I ask myself, who is the worst possible person who's going to see this ad? Hey, so I want to address the two biggest mistakes brands make when targeting their ads. Number one is they target nations too broadly. This is a huge problem people make all the time. If you target North America, a huge amount of your ad budget is going to go to Mexico, and where you're not going to make any sales. And I've seen this happen for smaller bands and like huge bands. Just because the algorithm is always searching for the cheapest possible click. So always operate with that in mind. When I run Facebook ads, I ask myself, who is the worst possible person who's going to see this ad? And we're going to get more into this later. But this is the first huge mistake bands make. Or they target all of Europe, and then they get Serbia, is where all their ads are served. You're not selling a lot of records in Serbia, usually. The other huge mistake bands make is they target genres and not specific other bands when they're trying to target interests. The problem with this is if you target black metal and you're playing Kvist type like underground cult shit, that's awesome. But if you target black metal fans, you're going to go lowest common denominator again. So you're going to get Cradle of Filth and Dimmu Borgir fans, who are typically not the type of people ready for some like church burning evil shit. Right? Like that's just what it is, especially when you're a very niched down band. So when you're targeting, you want to be targeting fans of bands. And if you're like super niche, what you want to do is you want to use the and also tool, right? So you want to say, so again, if we're using the underground black metal thing, you want to target fans of Immortal, although that's pretty broad, so let's make it tighter. So who are also fans of Emperor. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Because that's two bands they have to be into to hit your targeting. And then you want to have them also be fans of Dark Throne. So, right, so now it's like, okay, like they have to like three like moderately underground bands. And that means that you're going to get like some pretty underground people clicking who are going to be educated fans who are going to be ready for your band's, evil church burning black metal record. And it's really that simple, is making sure your targeting is to specific countries that you know have an audience that have money, essentially. And then furthermore, you're targeting bands, not genres, because it's always going lowest common denominator. And so what I say when I'm looking for the worst possible person, right, is when I run an ad for a Prophecy Productions band, for instance, I know that the worst possible person is going to be like someone in rural England who likes Alcest, which like is like a pretty good basic fan to have. Like that's like relatively entry level, but someone in rural England who likes Alcest is a lot better than someone in rural Mexico who listened to an Iron Maiden song once, which is what you'll get if you target North America and heavy metal. So just think about it that way, is it's always who's the worst possible click. That's part of why lookalike audiences are really valuable, because they help limit, or at least they help ensure that you're getting people whose buying behavior looks like the buying behavior you want, but that's sort of a separate conversation. But again, if you're new to Facebook ads, avoid these two mistakes. Target the specific countries you want, and target specific bands you sound similar to, and if it's still too broad, use the and also technique. Usually when I'm marketing an underground band, for the record, I try to get my audience that I'm hitting between 10,000 and 100,000 people. And that's usually appropriate even for like the most underground bands. You'll usually get pretty decent results for that. So that's just some kind of technical, but I think valuable information about core mistakes I see a lot of people making across the board.